Hello everyone, welcome to Conversation Series. I am Rajarshi Chatterjee from Stat Media Group. Right now we are at Air Cargo Africa in Nairobi, and with me we have Eric Wilson, Senior Vice President of Sales, Qatar Airways Cargo. Thank you for joining us, Eric.
It's a pleasure to be here. Thank you.
And as they say in Swahili, karibu.
Asante, asante.
Great. So we know that Africa is a great market for air cargo, and there's a lot of perishable export happening from here. And from the perspective of Qatar Airways, how do you see the market right now?
Well, first of all, let me say thank you for the opportunity to be with you today and talk a little bit about our story and what's happening here in Africa for Qatar Airways. As you know, this is the first time the show has been held in Nairobi in over 14 years, and we couldn't be more pleased to be here. We're really pleased with the turnout, very strong turnout, and I'm hopeful that as we move forward with this event year in and year out, that we see it return to Nairobi. It's a very important cargo market.
Right.
And as you touched on in the opening just now, it is an important perishable market. For Qatar Airways Cargo, about 80% of the tonnage that we export from here is in fact perishables. Meat, fresh meat, fruits, vegetables, and of course fish. And we transship most of that over our global hub in Doha. And we're actually seeing the market strengthen over time. So as we think about 2024 and how that market, the African market played out for us, it was a very strong and good year for us in Africa. In particular, we like Africa because of the growth prospects and because it's a balanced market. And as you know and your viewers know, anytime that you're in the aviation airline business, the plane comes in and then it goes out. You want to have balanced flows. And one of the great things about Africa is we see a balance of trade. We see about as many kilos coming into the market on an import basis as we export. For Qatar Airways Cargo last year, that was roughly 80,000 tons imported into the country and another 80,000 or so exported. So we love markets that are balanced in that way. It's better for the network, it's better for our customers. They have more reliable capacity. So as we think ahead to 2025, we are expecting another strong market this year. We see the economics of the region growing. We see evolution occurring. It's becoming a more sophisticated market. As the population grows, there's more needs. We can touch on that in a little bit regarding what we see happening with e-commerce. But overall, we see continued growth from our existing markets. We serve 28 cities here in the continent. That's with daily passenger service with our bellies. Plus, we have 4 dedicated freighter markets. We're really proud of how those markets have been performing, and our team has done an amazing job.
Which is the biggest market in Africa?
For us, I mean, really Nairobi for us is wonderful because we have so many different commodities that come out of here. And we just now, as we talk, we're just a few days past Valentine's Day, and we had a record volume of flowers that were exported, 810 tons.
Right.
And to think about what that means in terms of flowers, that was over 25 million individual flower stems. And if you think about how flowers are traditionally given as a bouquet of 12 flowers per bouquet, over 2 million people were able to receive a bouquet because of the efforts that our teams worked on with our partners to make that happen for Valentine's Day. We're really proud of it. A lot of planning and organization comes in at the last minute, from the growers to the time it's harvested, how it's packed, and then transported to the airport. Everything moved very much in sync, and we're really happy for our contribution. And we look forward to doing it more in the coming years.
Right. Yeah, I was just about to ask you about that, the flower shipment during the Valentine week. So where do you see the maximum demand for Kenyan flowers? Which were the destinations, if you could tell us?
So predominantly these go to Europe. They go to the Mideast as well, but the biggest importer of flowers is the Netherlands, and that's historically been so. And so then those flowers are then reconsolidated and moved all across Europe. But Amsterdam is one of the prime destinations for Kenyan flowers. I just came from a meeting with one of the very large flower exporters, and we're in discussions right now to talk about where is the market going and how much capacity is right for the market, what types of flowers are going to be grown, and it's a very dynamic and evolving business, and we're happy to be right in the center of it, helping to lead trade in this very valuable commodity.
And as we talk about the air cargo sector in Africa, I've been hearing there are a lot of challenges, especially in terms of infrastructure or customs. So, what challenges do you face?
Well, I mean, I would say overall there are challenges in any business, and yes, there's challenges in air cargo. But I think what we at Qatar Cargo pride ourselves on is finding solutions, right? So we know there's going to be problems in the business. Every market has a challenge or a unique operating parameter. But what we're all about is how do we say, yes, there's a problem, but how do we overcome it? How do we bring a solution to the table that works for our clients, that works for us, that works for our vendors, and make it happen? We're really about making it happen and staying agile. And I think if we look at all of the markets that we serve in Africa, the facilities are adequate for our needs. And I think what's interesting and fun about the market is as it becomes more sophisticated, the facilities have an opportunity to grow and improve. Right. So for example, we move items that require cold storage, we move animals. Those facilities are adequate, and as the population grows and as the level of complexity changes with that, the market will grow and we'll get facilities that have the ability to be more complex in the solution. So, and that's things like how many millimeters gap might there be on a dock door to the floor? What types of plumbing might be over a cooler? These are things that we look at to make sure that whatever the commodity is that we're focused on, it's going to be stored and transported safely. So we get very much into the weeds, very much detail focused when we're providing an operational solution. We don't want to go into a market and offer a solution unless it's right for our standards, it's up to our high standards, and it meets the needs of the client. So that's something that we're constantly focused on. But for now, yeah, each market has its unique challenges, but we always rise to the occasion and make sure that we get the job done for the customers.
So, are you looking at any partnerships to improve this infrastructural situation and investments?
That's a great question, and I think partnerships are so important in the aviation space. Right. You know, we're a very capital-intensive business. It requires a lot of assets that are very capital intensive and expensive. So it's very hard to put all the dots on a map that you may want to have as your own service, and that's very expensive. So what we like to do is think about it in terms of partnerships. Partnerships allow us very quickly and very efficiently to cover a secondary market or a tertiary market that we alone may not be able to serve or unwilling to serve. And we do have some discussions underway right now with partners in Africa. And when we're ready and we believe we have those solutions in place, we definitely want to work with StatTimes to make those announcements. But we are in talks now, and we're looking at things. We've already announced partnerships elsewhere outside the African market. One was recently in October of last year with Malaysian Airlines in Kuala Lumpur, and doing some interesting things between Doha and Australia. And that's going very well. And we'd like to take a similar focus on the African market and look at what we could be doing to connect hubs here, such as Nairobi and other places, with our hub in Doha.
And how do you think is the market for e-commerce in Africa? How is it changing?
So e-commerce is the hot topic now in the space, and it has been for some years. And I think, what's very interesting is it's a very evolving situation, sometimes day by day. What we do know when we look at the statistics is that as the African population grows, in 2025, for example, there's roughly around $40 billion expected to be spent in e-commerce across all markets in Africa. And what's very, I think, interesting and attractive for us is the compound annual growth rate is approaching 9% for e-commerce. So most folks are now very comfortable operating their life on a smartphone, and certainly anybody born since 2000 are digital natives. They've grown up with the technology. True. They're used to communicating on it. They have friendships with people through their phone. They conduct their life through their phone. And so I think one of the things that we're very proud about doing at Qatar Airways Cargo is leading trade through air cargo for such things as e-commerce. So as that market grows and evolves here, we will be here with capacity to be able to meet the needs in whatever market may be developing. We're going to continue to stay very focused on putting capacity where there is demand for it.
Right, right. As we know, Qatar is known for one of the most modern and efficient fleet, and you have so you have placed an order for Boeing 777 native.
Yeah, that's right. We're the launch customer for the 777-800 freighter.
Yeah.
We're really proud to be able to be the launch customer. And we have several teams in the company that are currently partnering with Boeing on some different innovations that we will be introducing when that plane begins its delivery. So for now, we're very excited about it. And we can't wait for the first aircraft to start rolling off the line and come into our fleet.
So do you have any update on the timelines?
Nothing that I can reveal yet, but we're waiting with bated breath for those first aircraft, those shiny new planes to roll off, and we'll put them into use. And I think for us, it'll be a two-part story. It'll be replacing our most aged 777s, which are still fairly young. We have an average freighter fleet age of 7 years.
Right.
But overall, we want to actually replace and then have room for expansion and growth because we see the need for air cargo continuing to grow moving forward.
Right. And how do you think that is going to affect the African air cargo market?
Well, I think Africa is going to be front and center in it. There's, again, the way that I see and the way that we see African market is very much the breadbasket to the world. There's a lot of valuable produce that feeds Europe, that feeds the Middle East. I'm a new resident of Qatar in Doha. And when I go to the supermarket, I'm seeing more and more commodities, more fruits, more vegetables that are actually grown in Africa. And they're delicious, they're fresh, they're affordable. And so I think Africa is well positioned to continue to take a leading role in helping to feed the populations of the world. And we're going to be able to be there to help deliver for them and lead that growth.
Amazing, amazing. Any global expansion plans in the pipeline?
So we're continuing to look at how we can grow. I think recently, towards the end of 2024, we were able to make some adjustments to our network, and we moved quite a bit of capacity from other regions into Asia to take advantage of the strength that we were seeing, particularly in e-commerce business. So if we think about the greater Bay Area of Hong Kong, Macau, Guangzhou, and Shenzhen, we were able to put capacity there to meet that demand, and it's been working very well. And so we continually monitor trade and we look at where flows are needing to go, where flows are existing, and try to be there to be able to support that growth. I think one of the things that I've noticed being in the company is our ability to quickly realize where there might be a need and very quickly adjust capacity, and that's what we're going to continue to do. But I think really for us, the big story coming into the last quarter of the year of 2024 was how do we help meet the demand for e-commerce?
Right.
And we were able to do that, and it's been working well.
Amazing, amazing. We are looking forward to those plans.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for your time, Eric.
Oh, you're very welcome. Thanks for the opportunity. Really appreciate it.
Thank you.